On cold tyres. Trouble. Courtney turned around on the exit of one, into the wall, and more huge damage for Stone Brothers Racing. What a disastrous weekend for them. The damage is already done before he got to McPhillamy, so he's whacked the wall up at Reed Park, and that's the aftermath, unfortunately, because Damien wasn't able to steer the car. That's a nasty-looking shunt.
So it's all the trouble on the left, and
yeah, he can't steer it.
Now he's got nowhere to go, but there, into the wall.
And you know what it's done? It's the wall, the Armco railing's done its job, but the pole at the end of it that fixes it to the ground has been the object that doesn't move. The actual ribbons of steel have all shifted and soaked the load, but the pole didn't, and that's what Tricar.
The horrendous sight. The Zinger replay will show contact into the wall, and it flips the Team Cirame car upside down and rolling.
Yeah, fortunately, the rollover now that they're obviously looking pretty concerned about it. Bradley's had a moment which has then steered him right. It really didn't like the bump at the top of the curbing there, the two of them side by side. Kilometres an hour, and James was unable to stop the car. A brake problem, and straight across the gravel tram, across the sand, and whacks the concrete wall at high speed. You could tell that the body language of the car was all wrong when he should have been slowing down to about 100 kilometres an hour across the face of that 7th turn, and he hit the wall. Stone Brothers worked all night with...
This is the moment. The Paul Dumbrell and the Super Cheap Auto team are still trying to work out why. Ouch. Big impact.
There's fluid on the road here. It's obviously damaged the front end. See whether the replay tells us more about it. There was another car involved, and it's Fabian Coulthard, the other car, but we don't know the details of how and why, but it's fired it into the fence at a great rate.
Look what happened to Jason Bright, car number 25, the Fujitsu entry. He had big impact at turn 2. He actually finished inside the top 10, his best time at 2:08.07, and made some ground in that last session. He'll be part. So Morris comes back onto the...
You need to see it a few times from a few angles to make up your mind as to what happened there, but looks like a 3-into-1 doesn't go there. Here's another angle, see whether this tells more of the story. I think the two wheels just interlocked there. Oh, have a go at Whincup.
I tell you what, he
slaps the wall there.
He was super lucky to escape without much more major damage. It could well have been exactly what happened to Lowndes.
I was worried for a moment that Lowndes could have been collected in the middle of the road. There's nothing worse than when these cars are crossed up sideways. That's the most perilous position for any of these drivers, when they're sideways to the traffic. And, so right rear quarter panel.
There's not a lot of runoff there, and the tyres aren't sort of bunched together, so they sort of gathered up underneath me and just rolled me over. So it was, yeah, it was interesting.
Every panel on the car yesterday was damaged.
I mean, he is absolutely peaking, and this is why. Got completely muscled out of the way. Heavy impact into the wall and dust flying everywhere.
I think Steve Owen was the other car, and he was actually squeezed up on the curbing and then bounced once Cam's off on the dirty line. That's a big impact, and actually it's a reminder of how dangerous that...
Actually need to do a little bit of work there to get rid of the dirt.
Keep your eyes on the driver here on your Zinger replay. Oh. Up towards 200 kilometres an hour, taking towards that corner, so the impact is so heavy. And then watch this. Another car comes along in a cloud of dust. Whoosh! Rips the rear wing off. But bang, down she goes, right in position.